Five Finger Death Punch has released a new music video for their single Living the Dream, and it's caused quite the stir on the internet. People are labeling the band anti-maskers. They are criticizing this video heavily, and tonight, Five Finger Death Punch is responding to those claims. We're going to analyze the video and talk about the fallout. Stick with us. Good evening and welcome to Rockfeed. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're new here, please consider taking a moment to subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss out on breaking news and updates. It's the best way to support the channel. It takes a second, tells YouTube you like us, they'll show our videos to more people. And if you hate the video, then don't do anything. All right, let's talk about this Five Finger Death Punch video. By now, you've probably seen the video. If you haven't, go watch it before you watch this video so you'll know what I'm talking about when I go through it, because I'm not going to play the video for you. So Five Finger Death Punch is no stranger to controversy. They're not afraid of causing a stir. That is maybe what they're known for. They have their fans and they have their haters. And when you're a band that is as rough around the edges as Five Finger Death Punch is, you're going to be familiar with both territories. And I would surmise that Five Finger Death Punch, when they made this video, they certainly knew that there was going to be a significant amount of controversy associated with this subject. And the video is essentially a metaphor for COVID-19, the lockdowns, the restrictions that have gone on over time, and there are groups of people who embrace them, and there are groups of people who push back against them. And then there are people who are somewhere in between that like some of the restrictions and don't necessarily like others. Now, there are scenes in this video that people are depicting as anti-mask, and we'll get to that as well. The video opens up with a quote that says, "Ralph Waldo Emerson, fiction reveals truth that reality obscures." And Five Finger Death Punch, Living the Dream. It opens up with zombies. And these zombies are in short order revealed to be hoarding toilet paper. So you immediately know when this video starts what it's going to be about. You know that it's going to have something to do with the last few months. And so this entire video is sort of a parody of varying things that have presented themselves during this pandemic, varying issues that we've had to deal with. And so you see the zombies, the mutants that went into these grocery stores and were piling up the toilet paper. Something that I don't think any of us ever understood. I was not a toilet paper hoarder. That wasn't my thing. I never stacked up on it. And having lived through natural disasters in the past and having my home destroyed from a natural disaster in the past, I didn't understand why people only took toilet paper. They didn't really take distilled water. There wasn't any consideration for the canned goods and all of the other personal effects that you would want to have in the event that you were facing some sort of a crisis. It was only the shit tickets. And I never got that. I don't think till the day I die I'll ever understand the motivation that people had that said, we got to have shit tickets. Because in the line of things, there are things that are much harder to come by, like water, distilled water, water that's safe to drink. Those things are much harder to come by than something to wipe your ass with. You've got old t-shirts laying around. You've got old, you've got clean wipes. You can just hose it down on the carpet. I mean, you've got all kinds of ways that you can stay sanitary for the most part. So I never really understood that. So again, you've got the zombies here. They're carrying the toilet paper, and we're going to go into a new scene. So you've got these gentlemen here. You've got Captain America, Superman, Iron Man, and what I perceive this scene to be about is you've got these former heroes, these former strong, brave, courageous savers of the universe who have gotten comfortable, they've gotten complacent, they've gotten fat, they've gotten slow, they've gotten weak, and they're eating burgers and rubbing up against each other, and they're wasted, and they're eating Tide Pods, as you can see here in this slide, and it's a big mess. And so I think that they're saying, there aren't many heroes anymore. The people have gotten too complacent. So then you've got this person here. This is some sort of an elite character, and I'll talk about in a minute who I think this character is purported to be. And you've got a line of individuals there who are lined up. They're doing their civic duty. They're doing the right thing, and they're having the mask put on their face. And then they hand them, and this is when the controversy starts. So they put on a pin that says compliant, and they wear the pin, and it's the communism symbol, as you can tell. And so I just want to add in here, so anybody who's watching this video, because you have to tell everybody, well, he means, this is what he means. No, I support masks. I think you should wear a mask. If people are recommending wearing masks, and they are, you should wear them. I've got my Pantera mask. I've ordered all sorts of custom masks I can show you. I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I've got masks. I got all styles. I'm not a mask denier. So you've got the people working their asses off here. They're working in some sort of a mine. One of the individuals appears to be wearing a People's Republic of America, basically saying, no, we are now existing in a communist society. I think the point that they're making overall with this video is that they feel as though our rights are being diminished. So you've got this person working. They're very proud to see this elite leader who's walking down the street. And this person is walking down the street, and she has a pin on her shirt that says exempt. So there's an ice cream shop. She's got people on a leash. There are people who are saying that this is like a representation of Antifa. The slide is she sees the American flag, and she's furious by seeing the American flag. Some of this stuff is tongue-in-cheek. And so you have these people standing around with their masks on, and they're going, what's going on here? What the hell is this? And there's people, they're attacking the ice cream store man, and they're watching, and they start to take their masks off, and from what I gather, they're like, if she's not wearing her mask, then why am I? And so then you have this scene at the end where like a war with the zombies breaks out, and they're basically running off this person that they view to be hypocritical to them. There's like a war scene. It just gets crazier and crazier. Then out of nowhere, you have this guy waking up from a dream, and he is like, and I think the concept is that when you had the Constitution drafted, you had these founding fathers that had to imagine the problems that were going to present themselves 200-300 years from now, from that time, and they couldn't possibly envision all of the challenges that were going to present themselves in the future. And so he's just sort of imagining this before he signs the document. And that's the end of the video. So now you have Five Finger Death Punch responding to claims that this video was an anti-masker video, a claim that now guitarist Zoltan Bathory is denying. He is saying that this was not the intention of the video, and he goes into explaining what the actual intention of the video is. So here is Zoltan responding to this. This is a headline from Loudwire. I just want to say no hatred towards Loudwire. Really great people there, very talented, smart people there. This headline says Five Finger Death Punch video depicts mask wearers as communists, and Zoltan disagrees. He says, I guess watch it again. This is not a mask debate. It's about hypocrisy, rules for thee, but not for me. And then he goes on to talk about people who are criticizing the band. He says, rules for thee, but not for me. 99% of you misunderstood or understood the metaphor and got the point about hypocrisy. But for those who asked, no, it's not a mask debate. Instead, think in the direction of equal rules and equal justice under the law. So then you have Zoltan providing further explanation about the video's meaning. He says, the beautiful thing about America is that we have freedom of speech and we have freedom of the press. To protect this right is absolutely worth the fight, as it is not like this in many countries. So that's how Loudwire saw this. They have the right to express that, and they have the right to say that they have, and I have the right to say they've missed the point by the mile. Or maybe it's just clickbait, and I must applaud the capitalist in them. Or I would be a hypocrite. Either way, let's celebrate that they have the freedom to say that. It is still America. However, the whole video is a tongue-in-cheek metaphor. There are a lot of Easter eggs and not completely obvious references, and the synopsis is that it's all just a daydream or a nightmare of a founding father who imagined America and the framework to build a fair and equal society that protects life, liberty, and your opportunity to pursue your happiness. Now, is it running off the rails? Is tyranny emerging? Are your rights eroding? Fair questions. So, no, it's not a mask debate. It's not anti-science. It's anti-hypocrisy. So the band is contending that this is not an anti-mask video, and he makes a compelling argument as to why he's not slamming the masks. He's saying that there are people out there who are being held accountable for not wearing masks. There are people who have been arrested. There are people who are being charged, people who are being fined. But you don't see any elected officials who have gotten in trouble for not wearing masks or any of those things. So the question is there a political class who is treated differently than the general public at large? Everybody is worthy of criticism, and it's fine that they're criticism. They're not being silenced or anything like that. The criticism is fine. I just think that if a band is saying, we did not make this video to be anti-mask, is it fair to continue telling them that they are anti-mask when they give a pretty plausible explanation as to what the video is really about, which is their perceived thought of a double standard? And by the way, I don't think these guys would be afraid to say if they intended to make the video as an anti-mask sentiment. I don't think that they're afraid of any backlash of any position that they wanted to take. So I also think that they knew when they made this video that it was going to spark conversation, and isn't that what art is supposed to do? This is certainly probably the most buzzworthy any rock music video has been in quite some time, which ultimately will end up benefiting Five Finger Death Punch. Now, I just want to close with this. This is my own perspective on this video. I don't like to talk about this sort of stuff because it's so negative and it's so divisive and people get so angry about it. I could be wrong. I've been wrong many times. I say this with respect. So if you're in the comments and you disagree with me, I am absolutely willing to listen to other points of view and consider other positions. Doesn't mean I have to agree with you, but this is what my take is on this video. And I, as always, would love to hear your perspective as well. So thank you so much for joining me today. Again, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button with notifications on so you don't miss out on breaking news and updates. Thanks again for joining us, and I'll see you guys very soon.